Hello everybody. So first we're going to talk about what I mean in chapter 2 section 2.1. What I mean by scalar quantity, what I mean by a vector quantity. So let's say for example a human, he has properties. For example, let's say he has mass, he has hair color, he has length, how much he tall, and so on. So in physics, they have properties. These properties, we define them into two things. First one called scalar, other one called vector. What I mean by each one alone? I talk about scalar. Scalar means only value. So for example, in physics, we have values. These values can be distributed into two things, scalar and vector. Scalar represent only value, or sometimes in physics we call it magnitude. And magnitude is just simply how fast something is, how big something is, just a measure. Magnitude, another way called a measure. Otherwise, a vector represent value plus direction. For example, let's say in real life, then we go into physical one. Let's say for example for scalar vector, for scalar, let's say we have color as a property. For example, let's say you have length and so on. Let's say you have mass. I can say for example you have a color of red, your hair color is red and going to the right. It has no direction, just a value. These things we call them scalar. For example, in physics, I'm going to talk about speed and distance later on. Talk about direction. Simple called the force. Because what's a force? Force is just a value plus direction. For example, all of you know what I mean by weight. Let's say over here you have Earth, and you have, for example, a body around it. This has a mass. Mass, we call it scalar quantity. But since this mass around the Earth, you're gonna feel gravity. So now this mass is gonna fall down. Okay, as he fall down, take a look. A mass scalar and fall down has a direction. Then this is what we call it a weight force. So force, we call it a vector quantity. Why? Because it has a value and it has direction. So here we're gonna take in this chapter about velocity and something called displacement. We're gonna call them later.